Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You guys, we have so much to talk about today because I don't know if you have watched the new Netflix show that is produced with the Obamas. It's called When You Leave the World Behind. And I have so many thoughts about it because I've been seeing like a lot of people on the right, they're going crazy because like there's a scene where this girl, she's like talking about like with her father, like to not trust the people that's in her house because, they were I guess like Airbnb guests or whatever like that in their mansion. And she's talking about how like, don't trust people, especially white people. And so like the right leaning people are like going crazy and they're like, I won't watch the movie because they said that. Like, because, yes, wokeness, it can also be a distraction too. I feel like a lot of the left that are elite and that are very smart, they know how to capitalize off of that wokeness and also try to distract people who don't want to see that from the real message and like, in the predictive programming. And I feel like that's something that I want to talk about today is predictive programming and how like there are so many different things in movies, shows, so much symbolism and so many of these things that we should really be watching out for because like I saw some things in that movie that I felt to be so um like eye-opening and something that I feel like I've already talked about before, but I don't think I have publicly, but in private I've talked to like many people about the many messages and things that was in that movie. And there are current things in that movie that's going on right now, especially with like with the Zios and the Palestinian war that's going on right now. There's a lot of messaging in there that I literally saw the day after I watched that movie that I really want to talk to you guys about. But anyways, I want to get into it. There will be kind of like a spoiler because I do want to like, create a story in your mind of how the movie goes if you haven't watched it. And then after you watch my video, you should go watch it yourself. That's just how I think. I will be spoiling some things because I do want to tell a story, and also try to get my point across to you. So let's get started. So I do want to say this about the movie. I actually enjoyed the movie because like I'm not a fucking retard, and I I always look at movies in a different perspective, and I'm always looking at like looking for messages and looking for like what they put into these movies to signal out to like, the NPCs out there like what's to come. And I already know what's to come because like I'm not dumb and like I'm very smart. I read. I'm very smart person. I think I'm very smart because I read a lot about different things that goes on in the world and I do my own research on things. But let me tell you something. Just because a leftist or someone in politics that you do not agree with makes a movie, and especially if you already know that they are Zios and like they basically went to that wall in Israel and basically sold their soul, I think that you should be definitely looking at the movie Leave the World Behind, which stars Julia Roberts and a lot of different other characters in there, which I forgot their names, but Julia Roberts has always been like one of my favorite actresses. She's beautiful, always will be beautiful to me. But in this movie, it was very eerie. It was very like eye-catching. It was very dystopian, It was getting to be dystopian. And a lot of the time when I was watching this movie, like my heart would race. Like I would be like, oh fuck, like wow, like this is something that I was talking about. And the things that I was seeing in this movie, it was so night and day to me. And online, I was looking at all these conservative people reposting because of like I said before, there's a black girl in this movie that do not like the white people that's in her house that's staying at the house as an Airbnb, and she's like, don't trust like the world or don't trust anyone, and especially don't trust the white people.
I'm asking for you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people.
And, you know, for me, even sitting there, y'all know how I am. I'm very right leaning. I am very right leaning. I think people probably will call me extremist when I'm not. I'm just like, I'm just real. Um, I like, fuck all of that bullshit, because that's something to distract you bitches out there from not looking at the message. And I see that constantly with like right leaning people. Like, they don't look at the message, they look at, like, you know, the distraction, and like they don't watch it. I see a lot of comments saying like, oh, I turned it off right then and there and it was the worst movie ever. I was like, what? The movie was actually really good, because actually leftists are actually creative. I'm sorry, but the Daily Wire is not hitting it for me. I'm not gonna be watching Snow White. I sure won't. Come up with something original, and then maybe we can do something. You would never compete with Disney Channel. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but they are creative. They are very smart. They're very good at storytelling. They're very good at getting your emotions into that. And I think it's what comes into propaganda, which I love to talk about propaganda a little bit, to bring it to you guys a little bit, because I have been learning a lot from like my friend Propaganda Fluent, propaganda, and how strategic the left is with marketing, and, you know, putting it right in your face and getting your emotions. And that's why I love Generation Z is left, because they pull on your heartstrings. They have like a lot of emotion, a lot of art, a lot of creativity, a lot of good marketing, and that's something that the right sucks at. But anyways, first off, starting this movie, I honestly didn't even know that it was created by the Obamas, produced by the Obamas. I didn't think anything of it. I just saw a preview right on the front of my Netflix one night, and I barely watch any streaming services really, and especially Netflix, because I really don't get on Netflix. But when I watched that fucking movie, I was like, oh my god, this makes fucking sense. And right after I watched it and I found out it was by the Obamas, my brain clicked, because the whole time my brain was clicking the whole time, but no one else around me was like getting it. Dude, first off, the movie starts off with Julia Roberts and her husband. They want to take a trip. And honestly, with this character that Julia Roberts was, you know, playing, I found it to be so relatable, because like she hates people, and she's working this job that she hates, and she starts to, like, you know, see how people are treating other people, so she starts to hate other people. And I feel like that's very like me, because like, you know, people, I see what people do to others, and it makes me sick, and it makes me hate people more. It makes me untrustworthy. It makes me not want to be around you. It actually makes me want to get the fuck away from you and never talk to you. That's why I don't like when people message me, I don't like you. Like, I automatically, I don't fucking like you, bitch. I want you to get off my fucking, like, get off my DMs, get the fuck out of my face. I don't care about your life. I don't care about anything you do, because you irritate me. That's how I felt watching this movie, because she is so relatable in that way. But she has two kids, and one of the kids is very curious, very, like, you know, into Friends, and like, because it's like her happy place to watch Friends. And the other guy is like a horny teenager that is just like, you know, going there just to be close and go to meet his girlfriend, stuff like that. But as they're like going to this place, you know, they get on the beach and everything's normal. They think that everything's good and normal, and, you know, the kids are playing, and all of a sudden you see like this big fucking boat out of nowhere just pop on the fucking beach, bitch. And it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, why are there a fucking like boat just out of nowhere? I didn't even read the caption of the movie, to tell you the truth. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, is it gonna stop? It might just be, it might stop, whatever. I'm just watching the movie thinking this is gonna be like a love story or something like that. Or like, you know, just a family funny movie. That's how I thought it was gonna be. But lo and behold, bitch, once this motherfucking child, the curious little daughter, oh wow, someone's getting killed. The curious little daughter looks at the fucking boat, it comes onto shore. And they have to run, because the boat is as big as the fucking house that I'm in right now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it clicked. I was like, oh, like that's like a shipment, like for oil, like US oil. And it was clicking, because like everyone was like, oh my god, like, could that be what I think it is? Because supposedly, like, if US oil is coming onto shore, there is something bad happening. But they kept on trying to brush it off. They was going to the Airbnb and, doing their own thing. But as they're at home, they at the Airbnb, they're like everything's normal, everything's fine, everything's cool. But then all of a sudden, they get a knock, and lo and behold, it's the fucking Airbnb house owners. And it's a daughter and this black man. They're both black, and they come into the fucking house and they're asking we forgot this, we forgot that. They're very sketchy, very weird. Julia Roberts is not having it. She's like, we have 2 kids here. We don't know if you motherfuckers own this house or not. And the guy, he's asking her like, oh, but this is the girl's getting feisty actually. She's like, this is our house. Can we come in? Very bitchy. Like she's a very bitch like character the whole entire time. I hated her. But as the movie progressed and they start to get familiar with each other, a lot of different things start to get really weird. um the power goes out. There's an alarm talking about how there's an emergency. They get notifications of like a apparent hack going on where everything is like the powers are going out and stuff like that because there's a foreign affair attacking America. That's what they thought. But as Julia Roberts get closer to this guy that owns this house, even though they don't trust each other, and the daughter, she doesn't like white people and whatever like that, something to distract your ass. He starts to talk about the oligarchs and the elitists that he worked with, that are clients, and that they are, they work with the cabal, and that they are very dark, and they are packing up like weeks prior to all of this stuff happening because rich people, they can't do much about a lot of things that happen in this in the world. If something does go down, they only thing they can do is have a message first. And us people, us normal people, which is something that I feel like that you should pay attention to, we get nothing. If you're lucky, we are not going to get like the what do you call it, the heads up if something does happen, and we don't have all the money to jump up and go and build bunkers and stuff like that. Did you see recently that what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, the Zio that literally wants to lock me out of my account because I speak against Zionism, um and doesn't let me follow anybody on Instagram because I'm not a good Instagrammer. um he he's building bunkers for his house in Hawaii right now. It's so funny that in Hawaii that all those homes burned down, and then like he's in Hawaii making like bunkers and shit in Hawaii. It just, then you think it's kind of weird. And that's exactly what's going on in that movie. That they're building bunkers, they're escaping middle of America, the West, and going somewhere else. Probably like Iceland or some shit. Like it's really crazy shit, and I think that's probably why I come on here and I want to speak about certain things like this, because I think it's very important that we stay aware and not get distracted by the wokeness that's inside of a movie, and actually look at the messaging and the symbolisms inside of these type of movies, because they tell you what's going to happen. If you're not stupid and you don't go with the mob, like, oh my god, movie was produced by the Obamas, I'm not gonna watch it, and oh my god, they have slight wokeness in it, I'm not gonna watch it. But it's like, you should watch it. Like, they're telling you right now, you see it in the fucking media that they're getting ready for something. That means you should get ready for something. Buy some kits. Find a bunker in your city. Find something just in case, like if something does go down. And there's a lot of different other things in that movie that really, oh my god, like the day after, recently in Gaza, if you look in the movie, there's like these pamphlets that comes out, and the dad goes out to find help because the power is out. They can't get no cell phones don't work, nothing works. Okay, and like they're also pushing out these radiation, like loud sounds, and it like fucked up the son's teeth, where like his teeth came out because of the radiation sounds. It's a way to make people go irate and lose control of their brain, which a lot of you bitches out there do. You lose control of your brain. You don't look at anything. And they try to find out this neighbor that knows a lot of shit, and he's ready. He got his guns, he got food supplies, everything, the whole 9 yards. And as the dad goes out to look for more help and stuff like that, there's pamphlets falling out of the sky, and it says "Death to America." So they're getting this like notion that it could be China or Iran or Russia, whatever have you, attacking America. They think it's a terrorist attack happening. But comes to find out it's not. It's a message. It's a message to destroy America from the inside, just to create like a rift for divide and for no one to work together and to bring untrust with each other and to murder each other because it would kill the country from within, from the inside. Yeah, I think it may have been a terrorist attack, but it was like very propaganda, and I think that's something else that happened. But I don't think this is propaganda. I think this is what the Israeli occupation, like they was sending a message to Gazans. Like if you watch this video, it was flies falling out of the sky, just like in that movie. It was so weird. The next day afterwards, I saw this, and it was like, it says something about flooding, like to wrongdoers or something like that. I would put it on the screen. I forget exactly what it said, but it's so crazy how like they're saying they're gonna flood the wrongdoers, and then they're going to. I watched this video the day after that. My friend posted it, and there's this woman talking about how like they're gonna flood Gaza with salt water in their tunnels and like their pipes and stuff like that to destroy their crops and everything like that so they can leave the land.
Of all of the death and destruction we've seen so far, this one is really hurting. They're going to use salt water to flood the tunnels, but that salt water is going to cause long-term environmental damage that could constitute possible war crimes. Let me explain. They're going to use seawater to flood the tunnels, so that's going to completely destroy what's left of Gaza's drinkable water and then destroy the ability to grow anything on that land afterwards. And this is not new for them. They've been trying to destroy the fertile lands of Gaza for decades. They used to spray toxins on the fertile plants of Gaza. So what you see here will be no more once they start pumping it with salt water.
Like, do you see that shit? Like, it's actually insane how predictive programming is so accurate. It's so right in your face. And once you see that kind of stuff, you would keep wanting to watch it all the time in movies because it gives you a heads up of what can happen and what will happen. And that same tactic can happen to us. That's why we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very smart. And there's also another thing too. This is why I don't like Teslas. With everything being hacked, and Teslas are like basically car computers. And people are going to like, buy these Apple computers, these like, new Tesla trucks and stuff like that. They think it's so cool, but that shit is shit. There's like a whole highway of Teslas literally coming like just full speed, like running into each other back to back. And it's like causing a whole backup on a highway in the fucking movie because they malfunction. They malfunction. It's basically telling you that Teslas are shit and you shouldn't get those. You should stick to a gas car. And why you think the government wants to take away your gas cars? Why you think in California they're literally making all cars by 2026 or something like that to be electric? Like they literally want to fucking put you down, bitch. Stick with your fucking gas car. Fight for fossil fuel. Fight for meat. Fight for farmers. Like I think that's it's so important things that this movie talked about that no one's like even thinking or using their brain to even like understand. And it's insane. Look what just happened. Like 1 million fucking Teslas just got recalled. Like oh my god, Elon Musk, you're so smart. Like come on now. Wake the fuck up. And those are the key things that I saw that really made my antennas go up, and I think you guys should really go watch it. Garner your own opinions about it, because shit like that is so alarming, and you should watch every liberal movie like that that's dystopian. I think they're coming out with another one too called Civil War, coming out before 2024, I think. And I think it's something that we should all watch, and if it has woke shit in it, look past that, because there are key points in all these type of movies. They've been doing this for years and years and years, and it's leading up to a lot of things that's coming out really, really accurate. And I think that these tactics will be used on us if we don't be vigilant and look at this shit from what it is. It's very important. Fuck that black girl being ultra woke. Look at the true message, true symbolism. Look at the Obamas. You already know they're corrupt and weird, and they sold to Israel and stuff like that. Like, you don't see, like, why wouldn't they put messages in there? I just want people to wake up and smell the coffee. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. And, if I see things like that and they come to light, it's true. It literally is happening in front of our eyes. How the fuck do you not know that? How can you not see that? You fucking dumb? Like, you're dumb. People will come for me all day long, and they'll like come for me and tell me that I'm stupid, that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not. I'm just a realist. Get the fuck real. But that's my review on this movie. That's my thoughts on this. I think you guys should go watch it. Fuck the woke shit that they try to push in that movie. And the hatred of white people is such a huge distraction from the things that's in that movie that I think was very important to watch. And my eyes was peeled and open. Now, the ending of the movie sucked, but those 3 key points that I told you I found to be very important, and they are happening right now. Get ready. That's all I have to say about that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and understood my standpoint on this, that predictive programming is in a lot of different movies and shows. You just have to keep your eyes peeled on that, and you'll be extra ready for what's to come in the future. But anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.